Today I'm going to show you how I took this photo from looking like this, how we edited it and formatted it for Instagram so it now looks like this. Okay, so this is a picture I shot a few years ago now. This is actually, well, when did I shoot this? 2020, September, October 11th? Or November 10th, probably October 11th. Anyway, so obviously it was fall time. We wanted to get, so today I'm going to teach you how to edit this photo and format it for Instagram. Obviously it's landscape. We want to make it portrait and fit properly on Instagram so that you can get the most amount of real estate in the frame. So first things first, I want to explain to you how I shot this, because obviously if you see down here, like these photos don't have leaves around them. These do. That's not edited. These are real leaves. So obviously there was a bunch of leaves on the ground. I had a friend pick the leaves up and hold a pile of leaves over my head. And as I was shooting, I had to drop the leaves in front of the camera. And you know, there was a couple, it was trial and error because a few of them worked. A few of them looked better than others. But this one I found I had the best range of colors. Look, you get some red, some yellow, some orange, and none of them are really blocking the view of the car. So that was how we did that. Now, looking at this right away, there's a few things that I want to change. So this car we're going to get rid of. We're just going to delete it. We're going to format it so it's a 4x5. So we're going to have to bring it into Photoshop and add some generative fill to that. But first things first, what we're going to do is actually just edit it. So right away here, we're going to bring it up. And this I want to be in a little bit of a mix between moody and vibrant. Like I want the fall colors to really pop, but I also want it to be like a little bit of a moodier shot. You know, the way I exposed it, you can see the headlights really nice. So we'll get into it and see what we can come up with here. So I always turn the exposure up right off the bat. I adjust it as time goes on throughout the edit, but it just allows me to see what I have to work with and what's really there. That's the beauty of raw photos as opposed to JPEG, which we can get into in a separate video. Okay, so bring the shadows up. We'll turn the color temperature up a little bit. And then our classic vibrance and saturation play. We'll just see how that makes it look. Yeah, we get a little bit of pop there. So normally I like making my greens on the bluer side, which I've mentioned in previous videos. But for a fall shoot like this, we want them to be a little more yellow. So if I bring greens over here, it's not really going to give me that fall look that I'm looking for. Look at the grass is nice and popping green, which is good for a lot of things. But for a fall photo, we want them to be a little more yellow. So bring that over. See, now they're a little more fall-like. What are we going to do here? Actually, I might even bring it over more just to give it that extra fall-y look. I'm going to bring up the saturations of the oranges a bit, have the leaves pop on the ground. Now I'm going to select the subject. I'm actually curious to see what it's going to select. It does a pretty good job of selecting there. So I'm just going to, I see right here, it picked up this car a bit. I don't want that to give me grief when I start editing the car out. So we'll just get rid of that. Now we'll bring the exposure up slightly. Maybe, yeah, we'll bring the shadows up half. And then we'll bring the blacks down half. And I think that'll add a nice little contrasty look. Yeah, that's nice and sharp, eh? I'm going to bring the white balance up a little bit as well. A little more yellowy vibes. Yeah, I kind of like that. So then we'll go down to color grading. I'm going to add some orange and yellows to the highlights. And periodically, you'll see me do this. I just like hitting before and after to see where I'm at, how far I've come from the original photo, because it's really easy to get lost in the edit without taking a step back and looking at the big picture. And that's where I find you can lose sight of what looks natural and what looks artificial and fabricated. So just keep that in mind. We're going to bring some blue and aqua into the shadows. Nah, that takes away from the fall-y vibe. We'll add some brighter. Yeah, there we go. I'm actually going to bring the saturation of that down though. It's a little much, I think. You know, I don't have to go crazy with this. There's a pretty good exposure off the bat. So we'll bring it into Photoshop. We'll resize it, get rid of that car. And we'll bring it back into Lightroom for any final adjustments that we see fit. I gotta stretch today. I'm a little tight. Had a big leg day yesterday too, and somehow my upper body is tight. Oh, my legs are sore. I got out of bed this morning and I put my feet on the ground and my legs were hurting. I hit the hack squat yesterday. It works. Okay, we're gonna go crop 4:5. I don't want to jinx it, but man, my computer's running good this morning. I had a few technical issues right away, but she's behaving. So this might be a little tricky because that's a lot of room for generative fill to expand with a lot of moving parts. I'd be curious to see what this leaf turns into up here, but let's just hit it and see what happens. It's almost time for another coffee too, I think. I'm almost done this. See, that looks pretty good at first glance, but then like, what is this leaf doing there? Oh, that was in the original photo. This is the one that really threw me off. So we'll try a few other options. Dude, AI is insane. Like, I know it's going to take over the world one day and iRobot's going to be a real thing, but for now, it really helps me with these photos. You know what? I like that. We're going to go with that. One thing I like to do after I use Generative Expand, I click Generative Expand, hold Shift, click the other layer, right click, and go to Merge Layers. And that way it becomes one layer. So if I want to add a gradient across all of this, it's not going to just affect the generative layer or the background layer. I'm sure there's another way you can do that, it's non-destructive, so I can go in and change, but I don't know. Not today. So we're going to hit L, zoom in, L. This is actually before I got my G Master lenses. I was using a Zeiss lens when I shot this, and I can definitely see they're not quite as sharp of glass. I mean, the G Masters are 2.8 as well, so you get a bigger separation with a lower aperture. But, you know, it's what I had to work with at the time. Made it work. So we're just going to go over this. Generative fill, generate. Look at that. Deleted from existence. Crazy. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Command S, bring it back into Lightroom for the final adjustments. I'm gonna pee, but I bet you the second I get up and walk away, this is gonna load. Oh wow, it hasn't loaded yet. I actually think I might go back and find some of my old photos from when I first started and critique them and give some pointers into what I would have done differently. Okay, what the friggin' actual frick is going on? Hey, you give your technology an inch, it'll take a mile. Told it was doing a good job today, and all of a sudden, doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. So good. Coffee is so good. We're gonna do some coffee ASMR. Eat a dick. Fuck you. What the fuck? For real. This is fucking stupid. What are we doing? You know what? Fine. What we're going to do this the hard way. In the ridiculous way where I can't actually make any changes in it after. It shouldn't be happening, but it does. But this is what it is. I'm going to stay calm because there's nothing I can do. I can't jump in this computer and fucking tell it to figure itself out. It just needs to decide for itself if it's going to listen today or if it's not. All right, look at that. It fucking listened here. What are we doing here, guys? What? Sweet baby Ray. If you want to learn how to shoot like this, edit like this, drop a comment. DM me the word fall, and I'll send you a little something that I think might help you out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go follow me on Instagram and then DM me the word fall. My Instagram is @Timmy Gregson. It's just my name. I'll put it in the description box below. And let me know what else you want to learn in the comments, and I'll make a video about it. Until then, I will see ya.